question. 100 games, what does that mean to you to play 100 games for Freo?
Yeah, obviously very proud to play 100 games. So I was a bit worried I wouldn't get into the AFL system for a few years there while I was playing Waffle, but I was lucky enough. Fremantle gave me the opportunity to play AFL, and 99 games down, and hopefully a few more to go.
As you touched on there, the latest start, what do you think that did for you in terms of your career?
Made me realise how lucky I am to be an AFL footballer. You know, I was a Boilermaker welder for 3 years, and wasn't a lot of fun working in the workshops. But now I'm playing football for a job and getting paid to do it. So I'm loving my job and loving playing footy at the moment.
How big was winning the Sandover, do you think, to get you over the line to get you an AFL spot?
Yeah, I suppose that was another little feather there, was winning the Sandover, but I think there's a lot of work happened before the Sandover as well, so hopefully I was recognised before the Sandover happened.
What clicked for you work-wise in terms of that 2008 season? What did you do that saw you make that elevation jump from 2007 to 2008 form-wise?
Just consistency, I think. I think the years before, you know, every 4 or 5 games I'd have a good game and play really well, and then 2008, you know, it's just a consistent performance the whole year. I was averaging 4 goals a game, I think, so there was just the consistency of kicking goals and playing well. So, and then Fremantle noticed it and gave me the opportunity.
Did you make a concerted effort yourself to either get fitter or work harder, or did you speak to somebody about those things of how to make that jump?
Not trying to think. It's a fair while ago now. It was 6-7 years ago. I think it was moving into the forward line. I was playing a lot of midfield, and then moved into the forward line and stayed a bit closer to goals, and you know, a work rate of a midfielder playing forward, you know, helps you sniff around a few more goals too, so that helped. But yeah, I couldn't really put my finger on anything in particular.
100 games in now, how do you feel like you're travelling personally? You've been playing some pretty good footy over the last sort of 3 to 4 weeks. Are you somewhere near the best form of your AFL career, do you think?
I think so, and again, it's the consistency. You know, just doing what I'm asked to do every week, and then the goals come after that. So all the pressure acts for the team, and then obviously the goals come from the turnovers. So I think the whole team we've been building a bit of momentum lately, and it's been really good getting wins on the board.
You're starting to get a bit of a sniff now. It's getting to that point of the year where you're kind of finals are not imminent, but they're 7 or 8 weeks away, and you're in a pretty good position. Do you start to feel like it's getting a bit closer that you could repeat, you know, last year sort of? 7 or 8 weeks is a long time in footy. We're the cliche 1 week at a time, but really, you know, we just got to focus on Melbourne this weekend, and then build from there. So, you know, we got like I said, 8 weeks to go, and we'll get as many wins as we can.
Is there a particular area where Ross has helped you, Ballas, as coaches? Is it one area that you reckon he's made your game better?
Consistency, I think. He's you know, he's very he points out the things you need to work on, and just is at you until you improve it. And I think just little things like just recovery, all the smaller things that I probably wasn't at the elite level, like Pav and Luke McFarlane, blokes like that. Just picking my game up and things like that. I think that's really helped, because Ross has holds everyone so accountable to everything.
You seem to have taken another step really since breaking your jaw earlier this season. Do you see that as a sort of turning point, that Geelong game?
I suppose there's been averaging a few goals since then, but not really. I think before then even there was a lot of I was still running as hard and chasing and pressuring as hard as that, and now we've the whole team really, I think, has come into a bit of form. I don't think we've lost a game since then, so I think it's the whole team has improved, not just myself.
Have you feel like you needed to step up with Michael Walters out of the team?
Not really. You know, there's other blokes that have come in and filled Michael's role. Hopefully Michael comes back in the not too distant future and plays his role again, and you know, everyone knows he's a gun. So, but no, I don't think I've had to step up any more than anyone else has really.
How did the review go yesterday afternoon after Ross's reaction post-match?
I wasn't at the review actually. I had some personal issues I had to deal with, so I wasn't there.
Ballas, your former housemate Anthony Morabito is getting close. You're looking forward to seeing him get back into AFL football?
Absolutely. He's been spending a fair bit of time with Morrow lately, and he's ready and raring to go. He's been playing some pretty good waffles, so as soon as the coach thinks he's ready to go, he'll be playing, I hope. So can't wait to see the big fella out there.
Have you sort of been saying to him, look, it's just a patience thing, you just got to just wait and bide your time?
Yeah, I have. I just said he just needs to keep putting the runs on the board, get some consistency, get his run back, and everyone knows how good a player he was in 2010, and if he can bring that again, then we've got another good player for us.
Hayden, just back on that Geelong game, a lot of people have said on you getting yourself up for that and your form since. You've earned a lot of respect on the East Coast, and we know they don't always hand that out easily to the WA clubs. Does that mean anything to you when they talk about the role you have played in the season so far and how important you are to the side?
The Eastern Coast people?
Yeah, people like Barry Lyon, there's been a lot of figures over there that have talked about you as a player and how important you are to the side.
Yeah, it's nice of them. I haven't really heard anything, so like I said, I've said before, they've said a lot of bad things, they've said a lot of good things, obviously, as you're saying, but I just worry about what the coach and captain says. Apart from that, nothing really phases me.
That reputation that you had, I guess, a little bit more about niggling players and that sort of thing, do you feel like you're moving on and maturing a bit more away from that, or is that still a big part of your game?
It was never really a big part of my game anyway. I was always about playing football and have a bit of banter and a bit of fun out there, and outside perception doesn't count too much for me. I'm not too worried about that.
How's fatherhood treating you?
Fatherhood's treated me well, actually. I've getting plenty of sleep, which a lot of people are a bit jealous of. A couple of my other mates have had kids lately, and they're a bit jealous of me because I get good sleep and she eats well, so they're a bit jealous of me, so unlucky.
What are you expecting of the conditions up in Darwin, possibly a little bit here?
Yeah, a bit better than what we've got out here in Perth. It's nice and warm up in Darwin, so no, I can't wait. Bit of a change up, get the suntan lotion out.
Can you give us a couple of thoughts on Colin Sylvia and his performances over the last few weeks? How's he fitted into the forward line structure?
Yeah, he's building. He's another bloke that's building towards some form. He's laid some massive tackles. He's in our review. Our trademark is our forward pressure, and some of the hits and tackles he's laid. You can hear him and feel him for the blokes he's hitting. It's pretty painful. So he's a solid unit. He's another one that's building some form.
It seemed like the players are really behind him when he kicked that first goal in Fremantle colours in the derby. You really all got around him, so you obviously feel he's an important part of the squad.
Yeah, well, he is. He was a great player for Melbourne. He was a number 2 or 3 draft pick, so he's obviously got some skill. And if we can get him up and about, get him full of confidence, then he's going to be another good player for us.
What changes have you seen in Melbourne since Paul Roos taking over?
They always have a couple of extra numbers behind the ball. I notice that all the time. Their defensive mechanisms really stand up. They can stop teams from scoring really well. And then they can come late in games. The first half on the weekend they were pretty average, and then second half they've come up and really gave it a crack. So they're not just going to be an easy beat. They're not going to just go away. So we're going to have to be on our A game to beat them this weekend.
And in terms of the conditions up there, obviously it'll be a bit different. But coming off a derby as well, it's normally pretty taxing. Do you guys have to sort of manage your bodies at all through training? Or?
No, every game's just as hard as the next game. So we'll recover and recuperate as best we can. Try to get our bodies in the best shape we can to get up there against Melbourne. The conditions, everyone's saying it's going to be humid and hot, but we train in the humid and hot here in summer, and we should be used to it.
We spoke to you about a month ago, I think, and you said you were looking to try and play better away from home. You've taken some really good steps there. You had a day out against Richmond at the G and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it was good at that against Richmond, but I've just been doing the same thing, trying to recover as best I can and get my body feeling as good as I can before the next game. And that's the hardest thing for me, is just to try and recover and try and get some energy back before the next game.
Ballas, we talked about the banter and everything, and you talked about having fun out there. Can you see that changing going forward at all, or that's just how you're going to play your footy?
Nah, there's not much point in playing footy if you're not having fun. That's why kids go and play footy for fun. And it's a professional sport here. We're getting paid to play, but I still love footy. I love playing the game, and got to be having fun as well.
Chris Hayden, you play a lot of footy with him. He's the other big pressure player in the front half. Have you seen him building? He looked to have a really good second half in the derby.
Maney's been good. Well, I think Maney's been good the whole year. It's not shown on the scoreboard for him. He hasn't kicked as many goals as he normally has, but his pressure acts and his tackles around the ground are just enormous, and he gives us a great opportunity to turn the ball over and get more scores on the board. Just because he's not kicking goals doesn't mean he's not he's not playing good games for us.